just know that I truly, truly, truly hate Grace Blackthorn with a passion. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss any of my uploads. I try to post a video every Monday, however, as you can tell by this upload, sometimes I miss it, but I make sure to have at least one upload a week for you all. Although I'm a little late, I'm super excited for this video because today I'm going to be sharing all the books that I plan to read in March for you all. This list of books also includes all the books that you all recommended me for my Say Yes to the Book channel series. If you haven't seen those episodes, I'll link them in the description box below, but basically, they are all books that you all recommended me when I give you all a topic. I had such an amazing time reading in February, which also brings me to share some exciting news about my channel and platform. I actually just finished editing my website to present you all with the new Enni Endings blog. On my blog, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of written blog reviews, of book recommendations, book reviews, and so much more bookish content for you all. I'm so excited to launch this blog, and I hope you all are excited too because it has become my little baby and I'm super excited for you all to get access to it as well. So of course, I'm gonna link the blog in the description box below so you can check it out after this video and read my first blog post, which is about all the books I read in February. As with all my videos, in the description box you'll also find all the synopsis and links to the books that I mentioned in this video, as well as links to my Amazon wishlist, my Patreon, my coffee, and ways for you all to get free books. So let me stop rambling on and get into the video so I can share all the books that I plan to read in March, so I can give you all some book recommendations for this month as well. So let's talk and reach our many Enni endings. First book I plan to read and finish in March is Amari and the Night Brothers. I was supposed to finish Amari and the Night Brothers in February for my 24-hour readathon with Mel, Jaleesa, and Kristen, but it didn't work out that way because I was way too exhausted, I was burnt out, and clearly I have not picked up a book since then, so here we are, still needing to finish Amari. Jaleesa actually has a full review on Amari and the Night Brothers, so if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the description below so you can watch it. But in this book, we follow Amari Peters, whose older brother has actually gone missing. But this isn't an ordinary case because her brother is actually an agent for the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. So what is the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs? It basically is an organization where magicians, fairies, and other supernatural creatures live and thrive and compete with one another for the different sectors that exist in the Bureau. Now Amari, who's now thrown into this world after living her ordinary human life, has figured out that her older brother as well as herself hold a supernatural power. Now of course, with a supernatural magician impending on this world, Amari's search for her brother gets even more complicated. As you can see by the tabs, I'm highly enjoying it so far. I just need to finish it. I already know that this is going to be a highly ranked book for me. Which brings me to another book that I started in February and hope to finish in March, which is Aerofire by Sarah J. Maas. Now I don't want to spoil anything, but Aerofire is the second book of the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This series follows a girl named Selena who is a known trained assassin. But as we find out in book 1, which is the Throne of Glass, she had been imprisoned for the crimes that she had been committed. However, that all changes when she's whisked away because the crown prince is in need for a competitor for the king. Now, the rules of the game are that Selena needs to prove herself to the king in order to be his champion. But during those trials, she finds out more about herself, more about the king's kingdom, as well as the people that she's allowed herself to trust in this moment. I honestly plan to binge this entire series in March. We'll see what happens, but I'm so excited to finish and go through this series for sure. Which leads me to the next book in my March TBR. And this book I've literally been waiting an entire year for. That book is A Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. But also, can I just say, I was definitely one of those people that had the biggest issue with the fact that there's this giant moth on the cover, but now that I have it in front of me, it's actually super gorgeous, so I'm just not even gonna comment on it, but here it is. Chain of Iron is a part of the Last Hour series, which is the newest release series from Cassandra Clare. If you're new to my channel or if you did not know, I absolutely love the Shadowhunter series, if nothing more than the nostalgia feeling of what these books represent. I remember being introduced to the Shadowhunter world in middle school, and that was my prime time of reading. That's where I fell in love with reading, and I just have so much love towards the entire series. And now at the prime age of 22, I'm still super excited about her releases and super excited to read what this story entails. Like the rest of Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter series, there are a lot of secrets, there are a lot of high stakes, there are relationships budding, friendships budding, but also impending impending doom that all of these children have to miraculously solve. I don't want to spoil too much, but I do highly recommend reading Chain of Gold, which is book 1. It was super great. If you do decide to read Chain of Gold and the rest of this series, just know that I truly hate Grace Blackthorn with a passion. And that just makes me so sad that she bears the Blackthorn name, because Julian Blackthorn from the Dark Artifices series is one of my all-time favorite characters. That is my baby, and I'm just so mad. I just have so many feelings towards Grace. I really truly just despise her for real. Okay, enough. I literally could talk about how much I hate Grace all day, but that's for another time. Probably not even then. But here is the other read that I have for March. Because I hate Grace, I'm just gonna wash this energy from the video and actually talk about a book that you all know that I absolutely love. And that book is Six of Crows by Leo Bardugo. Now, I know y'all are probably like, Christine, why the heck are you reading this for what, the bajillionth time? But look, Mel from Mel Reads said that she was reading this for March, and I just had to take this opportunity to do a buddy read with Mel and reread it for the bajillionth time, okay? If I was stranded on an island, or if there was a fire and I only had to pick one book to choose from, this would literally be the book. Love this book. I love the second book, Crooked Kingdom. It's literally my favorite duology, my favorite series, just all time. No questions asked when talked about this book, because it's literally my baby, okay? I may recognize the title because Leo Bardugo's new Netflix adaptation, Shadow and Bone, actually includes the stories and characters from Six of Crows, and I'm just so excited because, whoo, if y'all have seen the trailer, you know. I'm just so excited there with you. But if you don't know what this book is about, basically, there's a huge heist that goes down, and 6 very different characters and individuals come together to make this heist possible. Of course, this crew is definitely morally gray. This heist is definitely high stake. The loyalty, the banter, the friendship that views from this story is all-time chef's kiss. I'm just so excited to go into this world again. And speaking of booktubers reading books, the next book is actually a buddy read I have, Mare from Mare Reads, and that is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Now, this is a mystery thriller that follows a nanny who has made herself fall into a very strange and eerie predicament. Thinking she was picking up an easy babysitting job with the most conventional, perfect looking family, her world is definitely thrown upside down when the child ends up dead. She is now thrown in prison for the murder. As she goes through the trial, we get to find out the different clues as well as see her suspicions as to why she's in this predicament that she's in. I am so ready for a mystery thriller book. I have been itching to read one, and I'm super excited Mare agreed to read this with me, which leads me to the last few books that you all actually recommended me during my Say Yes to the Book prompt from the last episode. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it in the description box below. I also want to add that if you didn't catch it in the beginning, I also have a new Patreon. One of the perks includes actually having the final decision vote on my Say Yes to the Book prompts and the books that I'm going to be reading. So if you want to check that out, it'll also be in the description box below. So just to recap, if you haven't seen episode 1 or 2 of my channel series, what basically happens is that I give you all a prompt, you all give me some book suggestions, and I choose the most popular and highly suggested in quantity and read that for the month, and then give you all my reviews and see which book I say yes to. This time around, there were actually 2 books that had the same amount of suggestions when I asked you all under the prompt. Those 2 books are An Ember in the Ashes and A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. I have had An Ember in the Ashes for a while now, and I'm super excited that you all recommended this to me so I can actually read it this time. But from what I know about this book, it seems definitely up my alley. There's definitely discussions of sacrifice, as the main characters are under an imperial rule that is very oppressive. I feel like everyone loves and raves about this book all the time, so I'm super glad that I can finally sit down and make myself read this book. A Song of Wraiths and Ruin has also been on my TBR for the longest time. I just don't know why I haven't read it, because this is also a book that seems to fit right up my alley. In the story, we follow Malik, whose younger sister actually got abducted as a payment to the city. However, Malik is not having it and plans to rescue by vowing to kill the crown princess Karina for his sister's freedom. However, Karina has her own goals because her mother had been recently assassinated, and she plans to revive and bring back her mother by getting what she needs, which is the heart of a king, and thus births the 2 paths that Malik and Karina have, and we get to find out how it's executed. Now, in my previous Say Yes to the Book episodes, I read 5 books that you all recommended me, but for this month, I'm only actually reading 3 because these were the 3 most suggested books that that you all gave me for prompt 2. So the third book is actually on its way. That book is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. In this book, I will be following Princess Leia, and being the first daughter, Princess Leia is actually supposed to have the gift of sight. But of course, in this situation, she doesn't. However, she's still married off into an arranged marriage in order to build an alliance between the two kingdoms. So in this game of deception, Princess Leia is deceiving somebody else, and she is also being deceived as she meets two different strangers with two different goals and intents on her. From what I've heard from people who've already read this book, it seems like a really interesting read, and I'm super excited to read it. Honestly, I'm glad that I don't know too much about it. I can be surprised and give you all a genuine and honest review of the book. This definitely isn't one of my longer TBR lists, but that's because I plan on having a secret TBR to give to you all at the end of the month, because I also want to give myself space and grace to have a little bit of mood reading throughout the month. Because that is all from me, y'all. I hope you all enjoyed this list of books and are super excited about what I'm going to be reading this month. And I just have this feeling in my gut that all these books are going to be top tier, so I just can't wait to read all these books, y'all. Alright, don't forget to like, share, and comment while you're down there. So let me know how your month of reading is going so far. I love you all so much, and until next time, bye y'all!